Hey traders, this is Woofy here on YouTube. This is my first inaugural video, and what I wanted to do with this channel is to talk about options and what I'm doing currently with options and market wrap up. My plan is to release two videos a week, one on Monday and one on Friday. The one on Monday will be talking about the week ahead and what I'm looking to do. I currently only focus on trading options. That includes calls, puts, and butterflies. And I also like to dabble in swaps as well. So just in case everybody wants to, get some information for the week, I'll be releasing a video on Monday, and I'll also be releasing a video on Friday. The Friday video will be a wrap up of the week, and that will hope to, get everybody aligned for the week ahead. With these videos, I just want to preface everything I'm talking about here is my opinion, and I'm not an expert financially registered financial advisor. I am just an options trader. So please take this video as entertainment and always trade at your own risk and speak to a professional licensed financial advisor if you have any questions. So here we go. I want to start off with going into the weekend review, and we can see here that I have Thinkorswim open, and we have the SPY chart, the daily time frame here, and we can see from the last week so far it's been nothing but up. We had a little dip here on the 2nd of December, just a quick 2-day down move, which is what I've been seeing normally happening in this very strong bull market. As you can see, we have rallied up from there. We took a little dip of it early in the week, but then with some trade rumors releasing on Thursday, we had a fair amount of gap up and a gap and run. And what this is telling me is that the market is incredibly strong, and I really don't want to do anything else but look for potential longs. And I know in this situation it's a good idea to think about loading up on shorts, but what I've seen so far in my experience this year is that any shorts have been just crushed, and the longs are just paying off. If I look through my portfolio, I only see longs making money. All my losses are coming from shorts. On Friday here, we actually had a little bit of an interesting showing. We were down a little bit in the morning, about $1 on the SPY at the most, I believe, and with some trade confirmation news, it just spiked up to the first deviation here, which is a 1.217 Fibonacci level. Sorry, it's a 1.271 Fibonacci level, and this is kind of a target from a previous swing of this down move. And you can see we have hit target 1. Target 2 is going to be up here at 1618, and it's going to be at 307.68 on the. It's going to be actually at the 321.24 level. We might get there in this Santa rally. I'm not sure. What was interesting about Friday is that it moved up and then it quickly dropped after the news release. So it could be kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news thing. But what I didn't really take a trade on the SPY. I had some other things I was focusing on. So we'll talk about that after we go through the major indexes. So this is a SPY here. It's really, you can see there's not much to do here, but to either close your longs or look for further longs. I don't think shorting could be an option here. You could definitely see it's a 2 ATR move, so from the 14 days. So it could have some down moves, but I'm just going to focus on looking for pullback buys versus shorting the market here. Now we're going to move on to the QQQs. Technology has been fairly strong here, and you can see there was a good amount of a dip a few weeks ago that hit the 50 MA, and from there on it's been just moving up. And I want to point down here that there is a daily squeeze happening, and the squeeze actually fired on Friday. So that kind of tells me that in this situation, even though it's at 2 ATR, it's at all-time highs, you can't really short this thing, for me at least. Every single time there's a squeeze that fired, it's most likely going to move up a few more days. If you don't know the TTM squeeze, you can always look it up at Simpler Options. They have a lot of information on this. This is just one indicator I use. I found out it's pretty helpful, and you can see that the red dots are compression. So what it is the Bollinger Bands have moved within the Keltner channel, and that's just a sign of buying and selling and compressing, like a spring. And once the spring it hits a green dot, it's going to be released, and it's going to be a fair move up here. As you can see here, there's A2 ATR. It's hard to buy up here. It's also hard to short in here. Moving on next to the IWM that I wanted to cover. So IWM here is also at all-time highs. You can see the high of 165.1. I have a 6-month daily chart here. I really, in this videos, I will, for start off, I just want to just look at the daily time frames for the market wrap-up. I actually have a short in the IWM that I took around here. I was hoping that, with a break of here that we're going to move down to the 50 MA, it would take my money, but that's not happening, so I'm still in it. I'm about 50% loss on it, probably a little more, but I took it as a small put option just to get some exposure in the market. As you can see, as I said earlier, is that every single short I've taken has lost me money. So I'm just going to keep it on here. It expires next week. It's a 2 ATR. I've had some down moves. If I come back a bit, I might take it off before the week is over. But on the 20th, it's probably going to expire worthless because it's a 158 put, and you can see here we're at 163. So there's very little chance I'll probably make money back, but anything can happen. Also in this situation, I'm really not looking to short here. IWM can have a significant more move, and from what I've been hearing from other traders is that there's still another maybe potentially 6% in this, since it's small caps are kind of moving these days. So that's just a pretty summary of the market wrap up. But what I want to do is look at some other charts, and one trade I want to look at is one sector I want to look at is actually the chip sector. So we can look at the SMH here's index that follows the semiconductors, and you can see just a really strong move here off the 50 with the squeeze. The squeeze is fired. It had a little down move, but this thing is really strong. And what I want to do is look for pullback buys. So if it gets in this 21 EMEA, then I would really like to pick some up here. If it goes to 50, that's even better, right? The 50 here is a two ATR move up to the deviation of the 21 14-day Keltner channel. So I would like to pick it up a bit here if it comes down. So I'm just going to follow the week and see how the action is, and if it's still strong, we might not even get a chance to pull back and just run away. But that's something I'm following here. One trade I do want to bring up is my AMD trade. So I took an AMD trade here. Let me just remove some of these levels that I have on here. I took an AMD trade earlier this week on actually it was Wednesday night when I was in London here. So what we saw is I saw this one dot squeeze here, and on the smaller time frame, I can show you the 15-minute. Actually, I want to go to an hourly chart here, the 21 hourly chart. And what I saw is that this is a really strong looking, great looking candle here. And I saw this move consolidation, and it was just lying around the 50 MA, and with those, and you can see there's a few like squeeze dots here. I decided to take a little bit of a gamble and then just get into a one call option here at what was it? It was like a 38 strike for January. I wanted to buy a little bit out just to give some time to move if it does go down, but fired off right away on Thursday. I'm not sure what the news is on here. I was traveling, I was flying, so I didn't really get to research that, but it went up 7% in a day, and I would have taken my money off just around here. You can see there's a double top. I would have taken money off here, but since I waited and I was on a plan I couldn't execute, it actually did me a favor and it went up a little more. Now, this was interesting yesterday. I'm not sure if this is, a lot of people have a lot of theories on when to close. The hardest thing to do is, for me, I find out, is actually keeping my trades open and letting it just run versus closing it out a bit early. So I was going to see how it was doing Friday, and I was awake for this. I'm in the Pacific time zone, so I was awake for this, and I was thinking, okay, what is it going to do, right? You can see when it opened up on Friday, it kind of took a dip here to within the range here, the top channel, and that was when the news was kind of rumored was President Trump was saying that, the trade deal might not have been done. So there was some light selling in the morning, but then once the deal was announced, this thing just kind of raged up here, and since it broke this level, I was like hesitant to take my money off, but in the end, I was like, it's Friday. What I want to do is close my money out on Friday, enter trades on Monday. So I was like, all right, let's just close it out for a nice gain of a 90% gainer, and let's just see how the market does. And you can see, I was really happy that I closed it out because for the rest of the day, it was just kind of a down move here. With that said, I think it could be interesting again at the 50 MA to be pick it up. So let's just keep a close eye on this. Another semiconductor I want to bring up is Nvidia. Let's just go back to the daily time frame. Nvidia is really, you can see here, it's really strong, and I really want to kick myself. I didn't pick this up here on the 50-day moving average. I should have because this is all looking great. You got the squeeze here, you got the chart coming on the 50 MA, and you can just see the move that just went. So I'm gonna definitely keep my eye out in the future for this. And this is just it's kind of getting a hot market here. And the three stocks actually is Nvidia, AMD, and also LRCX. You can see here, LRCX is following exactly a good momentum. It's coming down to the 50 and running up to the all-time highs again, right? So all these stocks are all-time highs. It's hard to buy here, but I would like to really wait for a pullback and then get on in. So the next stock I want to look at is, the FANGs. Like Apple is an amazing stock here. When I was in Europe, everybody was wearing AirPods, so I could definitely see why Apple's making money here, right? And this is a squeeze here. It's going up. It's going to launch. I don't see anything. I don't see anything you do really here right now. It's a little too high for me. I would like to do a pullback, but it's just a crazy vertical. There's nothing here to do but to either wait for pullback or trying to just catch it on the way up. The squeeze has fired so far, so it would have been nice to get it in while it's built. But what can you do, right? You can't catch them all. One thing I'm looking at is Facebook. Facebook had a kind of a nasty day on Thursday. They had some regulatory issues, and I think Congress is going to lock them down a bit more. But I think that's just all news, and you can see a two-dot squeeze has been forming here. The last squeeze fired off and really gave us a good momentum here. I think it fired off around here, which is like 192, and went to 203. I would definitely have taken that trade because it's good. That's a good $10, over $10 of profit. So I'm just kind of looking for here. I have a level right here, the two dot squeeze. If it goes from the 50 again, I would like to at least take a little nibble, and I'll of course use lower time frame trade charts to see if there's any entries, execution triggers. So what I like to see here is for it to close down here, and if it does, I'll make a video on Monday, and I'll show you if I get into it and why I get into it. Other than that, Google is, at least yeah, Google. What can I say? Google's great. It's going up. Moxie indicators fine. There's really not much to do here. It's trade wise, and just look at Netflix here. Netflix is a little bit of a dark horse here. You can see it's below the 200 MA at the 50 MA, also at the 50 MA. So it's something that you can look into for maybe a long, but I'm not going to try to focus on this because it's a 200 MA. In my trading book, I said this year I'm not going to make counter trend trades, and this would be a counter trend trade if I look for a long. I just can't look at shorts right now, so I can't even think about that. So I think on the FANG side of things, the best thing to do is just to look at Facebook and follow it for the next week or so. And what I try to do is just follow a few trades, stock the trades like a lion, and jump on them when it's time to pray versus kind of running around the jungle and just shooting at things. I find it more useful to kind of track it down and hop when the chance is good. So now let's look at my holdings. I have this trade called Momo. This ticker called Momo, and it's been interesting. I don't know really what it does, but it's at $36. I have a call option here, and what I got into is you can see that there's a good squeeze here. It dipped. On Thursday, it kind of dipped down to the 200 MA, but it really rallied back up. So this is I like this sign as I want to think it's a good sign for the stock. I have these, I follow Simple Trading. They have these. This is Ragi's grab candles, and the blue means it's under the 34 EMEA. But what I want to see is really some green candles, which gets above the 34 EMA. And I think once it gets some clean, good light blue or green candles, it could definitely rage to 39.04, and that's where I like to take my money off. And we just had earnings, so it's not going to be affected by that. And when I look at the weekly chart, I think it looks pretty good to me as well. You can see, there's nothing wrong with this. It's a weekly squeeze here too, so it could go to 53, but I think I'll take my money off at 39 and then try to reload on that. I just don't have the patience currently to hold till 53. Um, Also, what I see options, I only have a January call, so I don't know. It'd be pretty amazing if we get to 53 by January. So we'll see what the Santa Claus Rally can provide, and I'll try to get my money out around $39. The next trade I have is Alaska Airlines. For my whole life, I hated airlines trade, but then this chart at the 50 just looked really good, and I liked how it was kind of going over the 50. It was right below, like the 50 is trending up, but the 21 EMA is trending down. So this is not something. This is not one of my favorite trades. I definitely don't recommend people getting in here at the current time I am. You can see there's kind of a double drop. There's two bear flags. So I got in, but I'm gonna be looking. If the Moxie indicator closes below zero, I'm gonna just get out. Whatever the loss is, it's a small option anyway. So right now, I'm just kind of trying to keep the volume small. It is holiday weekend, and light trading, and I just want to come back, refreshed, relaxed, and ready to go in January. So here, I'm just really see what it's gonna do. If it's gonna pop up, I'm probably get around 70. If it's gonna go down and close below this Moxie indicator zero, I'll just get out and then take my money somewhere else. I think those are the only two holdings I have. Also, I told you I have an IWM trade here, and it's not doing much. One thing I do want to point out is I did take some money on OMC, which is really nice. I'm really glad that this pattern played out for me. I think I got in around here. What I liked is that there was a squeeze here. The Moxie indicator closed above zero, and we're just climbing up. And as you can see, the squeeze is building, and it fired this day. And this day wasn't too big of a move. It actually went down a bit, but it kind of went up, and then it just exploded the day after. I just took my money right here. You can see, I actually need to take all these away. Is that this hit the first target? So just take my money and run. So that was a good trade, and as I make more videos, I will talk you through why I got into a trade and what happened. So this is just my inaugural video. I want to thank everybody for watching. This is gonna be a wrap up here. I hope everybody has nice holidays, and then we'll see what happens next week. And you should be expecting a video by Monday night. Thank you, and have a great weekend.